Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something that affects every Canadian: taxes. Whether you love them or hate them, probably hate them, taxes have been a crucial part of Canada's history. But how did we get here? Why do we even pay income tax? And why is Quebec's tax system different from the rest of Canada? Let's break it all down. How does income tax work in Canada? So, first things first, who pays income tax in Canada? If you've lived in Canada for any part of the tax year, you're required to pay income tax on any taxable earnings. This applies to individuals, not corporations or trusts, which are taxed separately. Now, while the federal government collects taxes for most provinces and territories, there's one big exception: Quebec. Quebec collects its own taxes, which means residents there have to file a separate tax return in addition to their federal one. For the rest of the country, it's all handled through the Canada Revenue Agency, CRA. If you're wondering when taxes are due, it's based on your province or territory of residence as of December 31st of the tax year. So wherever you're living on New Year's Eve determines which provincial tax rates apply to you. Where did income tax in Canada come from? Believe it or not, Canada didn't always have an income tax. Before 1867, Confederation, the government mainly relied on indirect taxes like customs duties and excise taxes, basically, taxes on goods and trade. But that changed in 1917, during World War I. The government introduced the Income War Tax Act, which was supposed to be a temporary measure to help fund the war effort. Well, more than 100 years later, we're still paying it. So much for temporary, right? Then in 1954, Quebec became the first and only province to take full control of its own income tax collection, requiring residents to file both a federal and a provincial tax return. By 1962, most provinces signed tax collection agreements with the federal government, allowing Ottawa to collect taxes on their behalf while still letting them set their own tax rates. This meant that in every province except Quebec, taxpayers only had to file one tax return. Big changes in the tax system. Fast forward to 1987, and Canada underwent a major tax reform, which took effect in 1988. Here are the key changes. Personal exemptions were replaced with tax credits to make the system fairer. Tax rates were reduced, and income brackets were restructured. But that wasn't the only modernization. Technology also played a huge role. 1990, the government introduced e-file, allowing tax returns to be submitted electronically. 1994, Quebec followed suit with its own electronic filing system. 2003, the NetFile system launched, making online tax filing easier than ever. Who actually manages the tax system? So, who's in charge of all this? For most of Canada, it's the Canada Revenue Agency, CRA. They collect federal taxes and, for most provinces, they collect provincial taxes too. But, once again, Quebec does things differently. There, taxes are handled by Revenue Quebec, which administers its own tax laws under the Loi sur les impôts, Quebec Taxation Act. Even though Quebec operates separately, its tax structure is generally aligned with the federal system, so most of the rules are still pretty similar. Wrapping it up. So, to summarize, Canada's tax system has come a long way, from relying on customs duties in the 1800s to introducing income tax during World War I and modernizing it with electronic filing. Most provinces let the federal government handle their tax collection, except for Quebec, which runs its own system. The tax system is always evolving, with new rules and technology making filing easier, or at least trying to. And that's a quick history of Canada's tax system. Let me know in the comments, did anything surprise you? And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into Canada's history and policies. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.